Welcome back to some professional StarCraft 2. I'll sell you the entire seat, but you're only gonna need the edge. In this action-packed Protoss versus Zerg, let me introduce your Zerg player. One of the best players in North America. She is Scarlett. A bit of a disappointing run in IM Katowice, the World Finals, but looking to avenge here in the ESL Cup against the Korean Protoss, the #1 ranked in the world. Not the Protoss we deserve, but the hero we need right now. Yes, a best of 3. I know for a fact it is action-packed, and I'm interested to see how we start things off. That's the Twilight Council, Jimmy. All right, before we get too dramatic, like, subscribe. Thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you're enjoying. I'm looking forward to bringing you even more of especially these weekly tournaments coming up at the start of the Korean Star League. I know there's been some dramatic and not really positive changes on the Korean side of things in StarCraft 2. But like and subscribe, and I will always continue to bring the best RTS content, whatever that looks like, going into the future. So thank you for watching. Let's get started. First adept. Adept Glaves is going to be kicking things off. The most feared / beloved build of early Legacy of the Void. Still finds some use, as it's one of those things you kind of mix into your deck. You gotta have a few cards ready to play as Protoss. Try to catch your opponent off guard. And this is one of those that if you're not ready for it, you can just lose the game. There's a wide variety of those things in StarCraft 2, but this is more profound than most, especially since hero, with not 1, not 2, but 4 more gates in production, a 5-gate adept. Sometimes I feel like it's just, we roll a d6 and figure out how all in we're gonna go, but enough of giving away Haz's strategies. 1, 2 gates at the front, one kind of hidden. I'm not sure if hero scouted the Overlord somehow to know there wouldn't be one near the back right, but Scarlett is sending it towards the main. This is a very early Adept Glaves. No Robo at all. This is, I'm shading the Adepts across the map to catch you off guard, ideally before any roaches come out. Scarlett already has some Spore Crawlers, or at least 1 Spore Crawler. Queen's positioned to defend against Stargate units. This is a fake. This is, also, who built a pylon there? That should give it away in and of itself. Hero may actually end up using that for the 3rd. But here come the first Adepts. Scarlett building a Roach one. May want to consider just hard walling off with Evolution Chambers. The Adept shading, it's pre-5 minutes here. Usually you start the Roach one not too much earlier than this. Handful of Zerglings. Glaves are done. Give that extra attack speed, but of course enough Queens can be a backstop for all this. Hero. Scarlett wants to catch these Adepts, ideally on creep, with us around before they get too numerous. But that number grows very quickly with this many gates on the back line. It's just mass Zergling for now, as the Roach Horn isn't complete. Hero tries to jam himself in between the gas geysers, gets to the back of the base. The Zergling's already being sliced to pieces. The Queens come up and try to help out, kill one of the Adepts. More absorbing shots here. 1 transfuse, and now into the main. Zerglings get the surround. And so far, Scarlett has handled it about as well as you ever could, considering she wasn't sure what was happening up until the Adepts start shading across the map. In fact, the Adepts will be forced all the way out. Only 2 survivors so far. 9 Adepts down for 42 lings. Sounds like a lot, but remember, there's really no tech behind this. There's no robotics facility. There's no gas at the natural. There's not even anything else out of the Twilight. No Dark Shrine. I could continue naming everything in the tech tree because it would be everything but Glaved Adepts, which here was currently limited to. As the Roach count builds, the Adepts are still very dangerous. 2 Adepts can end games. Protoss players know better than most, considering half of their early game strategies revolve around defending against them. Even the Queens aren't immune to being attacked here, as enough Adepts, well, it's a numbers game. And right now, the Queen count doesn't quite add up. Back into the natural. Deja vu. We've just been in this base before. But the Roaches starting to zone out. Workers taking a lot of hits here. Only 5 so far. It looks worse than it is, but that number adding up. 9 kills, 10 kills, 11 kills. Okay, well, it's getting bad. 43 drones, 42 for Scarlett. She added a few more on to try to recover from that early pressure. The fact that she had to invest so much of the larva in getting Zerglings really cut into the potential economy, but it's a fine line to walk because the adepts can sometimes shade right past it. Behind it, hero, can you believe it? More adepts. Finally, a tech transition. It's going to be charge lots with forge upgrades. So Scarlett once again built around the drones, and once again the adepts come in. Well, Scarlett can't be super hyped about it, but the roach count is starting to get... It's nearly the critical mass, where you can split your roaches into 2 groups, both of which are capable of dealing with the adepts. Once you get to double-digit roaches, that's when the adepts really start to drop off, assuming you're able to actually catch them. A few more into the natural. Here's that exact issue we were talking about. Without roach speed done, the adepts still going to work. Shading left, right, and center right now. Every single base has adepts in it one way or another. Gets out of the third, into the natural. Scarlett has now lost 31 drones, plummeting to a 5-worker lead. Back in the natural, the roach is kind of getting stuck. Hero targeting down so many of the drones. More roaches, closing the melee distance. Not that it really affects the attacks there. And 3 adepts make it to the main. Still a deadly number. The drones have to run yet again. Oh my god. A slaughterhouse for the workers, but also mass production. Scarlett maintaining a worker lead. Just the sheer amount of larvae. Okay, hero. 52. Oh my god. Here we are again. Scarlett. Another round of Twilight Council upgraded units. Gonna be just a bunch of charge lots here, but Scarlett does have the roaches, which are a bit of the built-in counter. Especially without any upgrades, these roaches should be able to drive back the charge lots for now. Charge lots are much less gas-intensive than adepts, and by that I mean they don't cost any gas. At some point, the adepts just don't really have the potential, but the charge lots are tankier and can be used while still getting other upgrades. It is curious to me that Hero decided this is kind of a switch from Hero's more normal strategy of going for blink stalkers behind directly. Really, any sort of aggression. Hero loves those blink stalkers. But a lot of the time, Hero kind of gets caught without enough units to really do damage. So the charge lots may be an adaptation here. A bit of a brute force adaptation. But, oh my. Well, this is quite a base. This is, well, as long as Scarlett never gets across the map to the 2 robos and the forge, the 3 most important buildings at the moment, really relying on those zealots to maintain map control and keep Scarlett pinned back. Infestation bit on the way. She's got 65 drones and counting. Hero, though. 4th Nexus looking good right now, as Scarlett has not found any opportunity for counterattack. I imagine we're going to go... I don't think this is going to be swarm hosts. Instead, probably straight to a hive in order to get Vipers. Usually Vipers are the limit of it on this relatively low economy. But Vipers are your best option against any sort of higher tech units, though they don't really do anything against charge lots, as... oh my god. 4 Immortals. Here comes Hero. Got a Disruptor in there as well. The Disruptor could come as a surprise and not a welcome one. And that's entirely the intent. The Queen's getting caught out. Unfortunate. Oh, Disruptor shot. The Ravagers pop out. Only gets 2. The charge lots find some good surface area. Immortals blasting through. Corrosive Bows land onto the Warp Prism here. Immortals push back. The charge lots cleaned up for now, but another Disruptor shot. Looking for the center. Doesn't find anything. Scarlett, good splits. Minimalist, but did enough to minimize the damage. At the same time, Hero onto the 3rd base. More drones will be slaughtered. But Overall, Scarlett will hold on both fronts and maintains an economy good enough to go towards Hive and get Banelings. It is a bit concerning, though, because hero, unlike the previous attacks, hero has been able to tech up behind and grow his economy. And that means the same thing but more, whereas Scarlett is still recovering economically and doesn't really have the tech to deal with this directly. As the disruptor count grows and the upgrades tick upwards, it gets harder and harder to deal with this gateway-based army. And Scarlett still, well, Baneling speed I believe is done, but not too many Banelings on the field. First disruptor shot, the most dangerous force field, doesn't find much. 2 more shots thrown out. Those ones get better connections. And the army supply starts to dwindle a bit. Still, more than enough for Scarlett to potentially defend. Hero backing off, realizing the potential for a surround is there, needs at least 1 more round of reinforcements. 2 Vipers are in the production tab, but they're far from being delivered, and even then, they have to build up that energy. Oh my god, the danger balls have grown in number. 5 of them now, and unleashing 2. Another one, point blank, doesn't find much, but forces the micro away, which allows the Immortals to continue blasting their way forward. The Immortals are the real damage dealers on the back line. Few Blink Stalkers at the front. Scarlett now. Less army supply. Not a good sign at all. Hero has played this well enough. The workers slaughtered. 66 of them. An inauspicious number for the Canadian Zerg. Oh, more shots thrown out. Another one. Another one. Another one. It's at that point where Scarlett was never really able. Oh, even a Zealot dying to the Disruptors. Don't expect one of us in the wreckage, brothers. And that is looking like too much. Drags in an Immortal. The Vipers, too little. And too late. 2 of them helping out, but just not quite enough. Good Viper micro. Actually, really good Viper micro. Really yanking those in. But it's just too many Stalkers. Fires the shots, and hero takes game 1. A solid effort from Scarlett. Many players, like, after losing 50 drones, there's a feeling of, I want to just leave the game. I think every Zerg has been in that position before, where the adepts just continue doing damage. It's the most frustrating thing. But Scarlett holds on. Not quite well enough to counterattack, but hero, unfortunately, one of the best. No. I'm sorry. I misrepresented. Hero, the best. The best. At following it up. The charge lots were definitely... I think what hero does so well that most players struggle to respond with, as it's kind of like a remix, a good remix. Not like just throwing a trap remix on. Well, for Protoss, that might be a good thing. But he adds in a few new units or takes a few out when you least expect it. It's not an entirely different style like we've seen the Glaive Adepts in the big gateway follow-up with Robo. But the method he used to get there was different enough that Scarlett didn't realize, I think, an opportunity was there to counterattack. Or even one of the more dramatic commitments could have been Mutalisks. Because, again, the reason you usually can't follow up with Mutalisks if you take too many economic losses, because if they go Blink Stalkers, they're just going to run you over, because even a little bit of anti-air. But hero literally built no anti-air. Kind of gamble. Well, it's not really a gamble when you have vision of the entire base, because the adepts are shading in and out like they own the place. You might as well put a high-vis vest, give them a clipboard and a construction a hard hat when they shade into the base. Like, I'm just taking a look around. Got any spires in here? All right, you got a permit for that spire? You know this is Legacy of the Void, right? You don't go... We don't allow these buildings anymore. Okay, well... No WMDs, weapons of muta destruction, allowed, as the economies are usually too high. But I think mutas, with perfect knowledge, would have been the choice. And hero gets away with it. It is so hard to deal with it. I think Scarlett handled it better than most. Anyways, game 2. That we got the 4 minutes. It looks like neither player looking for early, super early aggression. So, ZVP a bit notorious for those first few minutes kind of being mapped out, and less than intense. Besides build order discussions, but... Stargate. Back to the classics. Hero playing a smart series. I wonder what we'll see from Scarlett. Scarlett's come out with some... I'd like to see some melee... we did see +1 melee for the Zerglings. That's kind of come out as the go-to build. Even against something like Adepts. Because getting +2 Banelings, the ability to one-shot probes with those Banes in the mid to late game can be the best way of controlling the Protoss economy. It was so annoying with these Adepts. Oh my god. Ooh. Dodges that hit. Looking for more, but hero gonna shade out. Gets away. Queen coming in. We don't like your kind around here. Well, sibling rivalry. The Xel'Naga's chosen. Just because you were here first doesn't mean you're any better. Oracle. Wait, Moracle. 2 on the way in total. Of course, it might not end there. 2 Adepts heading out as well. Small Zergling counterattack. Gets the probe working on the 3rd. And Adepts again. Cool. Shading in towards the main. Oh, wait, where are the Zerglings? Uh-oh. Well, it's not too bad so far. It's definitely not... citizens arrest. The drones pop out and deal with it. Oh no. Oh no. Go back to work. God, they've had a taste of blood. Or whatever the Protoss have. Oh, that's not good. Alright, we'll check back in with the worker strike later. Typical group project. Oracles burn through some of the Zerglings at the 3rd. And we got the Twilight and the Forge follow-up. Oh, those workers just came back to work. And then suddenly stop right there. This one is an Oracle-mandated work break. Scarlett, I think, got a probe. And then runs away from the 3rd, knowing the Oracles at any point could light up and burn through the Zerglings there. More Adepts. Hero recalls out before the Zerglings can come back. 12 workers killed so far. And once again, Scarlett plummeting to a 4-worker... Actually, what? 11-worker lead. Does Hero have anything to punish her? Not really, actually. Scarlett's gonna get away with it. I think this is the more classical Hero style. We got the Oracle opener, the triumvirate of Oracles here. I don't know why I struggle with that word, but... Oh, no Spore at the 3rd. The Oracle Micro is great here. Scarlett once again cut down to 54 drones, but adding more. So what will be the choice? Are we gonna go Hydras, maybe? Against the Blink Stalker style? This Overlord is much better placed than the previous game to see more of the front. Like in the last game on Altitude, the Overlord could not be in a position to get such intel. Oh, Hydras it is. Okay, I think if you know for a fact your opponent's going to go for the gateway units, Hydraling Bane is the choice. You go Roach Ravagerling Bane when you do have to deal with things like Adepts, Charge Lots early, because Hydras, you just can't build up the count of them in a timely enough manner. And also, technically, they get countered by Adepts, so... God, here's Oracle Micro is amazing. Gets the Queen. Oh. The best players make it look like Oracles can attack while moving. They can't, but you can manipulate the unit in such a way that it feels like they're essentially attacking while moving. That is a lot of Stalkers here. Yeah, Scarlett needs to be very careful about that drone count. Behind it, a Templar Archives. Creep spread really starting to get out there. Hero hasn't had much opportunity to deny it, but the Oracles, the Swiss Army knife of Protoss, They got the Revelations to help deal with the creep tumors, cuts through a few. And this is hero kind of just keeping control of the map, keeping control of the vision, and very important, the speed of the units. So that way Scarlett isn't able to just grab these stalkers and smash them or force a recall or something like that. I think a very smart choice. So remember, with the way hero's playing, has almost perfect vision. Essentially map hacks. Like really high APM map hacks, but map hacks nonetheless. As hero has seen most of the base. Hydralisk Den, the gas geysers, the drone count. All is known to hero. The ability is literally called Revelation, so... Scarlett knows about the 4th base, so both players have most of the important information here. The Storm, very good against Hydra's Links and Banes, as it does the vast majority or more than enough damage. Hydras barely have enough HP to survive a Storm. Links and Banes, of course, do not. So Storm could be devastating, but at the same time is quite an economic reach, and it can be as good as Disruptors or Immortals. It's just a little less reliable because the Templar themselves are so fragile. But Scarlett has had the opportunity. She's going for +2 melee attack. Already building 14 Banelings. On the other side of the map, has plenty at home for now. Oh, Blanc's forward. A couple of the Hydras going the wrong direction. Unfortunate. Oh, Storms already landing. Oh my god, the stasis does go down. A few of the Banelings trickling through, absorbing the damage. Still some Storms in the back line. Another set of Storms, but Banelings rolling in yet again. All the way past, maybe trying to trigger some of the stasis here. We'll do a good job, and the Archons are taken out by Scarlett. The Banelings rolling in, and hero! His entire Warpin is canceled. +2 melee isn't done, but a huge counter attack by Scarlett. Just obliterates that Warpin, and looking for the probes, has killed 14 of them so far. Hero down to 68 or so. Still a comfortable enough economy, but Scarlett strikes back. Defends the attack with the trickle of Banelings through. Shows the weakness of Storm and not being able to really routinely cover those areas. And for now, Scarlett with 83. That's too many drones. It's right on the edge of too many drones, I would say. It really depends, though. We got 18 Zerglings, 15 more Banelings on the way. Scarlett holding the line. The Hydra is on the high ground. There's no splash damage here. It's just the Stalkers. They do have +2 attack, but against Hydra Ling, they just don't compete. This unit composition of Scarlet's easily deals even with Mass Stalker. The Banelings are actually getting caught down here, looking like Ice Baneling escape. Oh, Stalkers on both sides. Hero playing a dangerous game, as if either group of Stalkers is surrounded, then there's really nothing keeping Scarlett from smashing these bases. One glaring issue for Scarlett is the lack of tech past the Hydraling Bane. No Infestation Pit, no Lurker Den for now. Essentially just the Hydraling. But Hero, on the other hand, still Mass Stalker. Banelings rolling into the 4th base, gonna smash into the probes. And with that, 30 kills, trying to get into the natural. And Scarlett needs to be careful not to get overwhelmed here. The Stalker count blinks forward. Hydras turn around and smack a Stalker. And Scarlett up to 180 supply. Against Hero. Okay, Hero's competing. 83 to 68 workers. Hero still has plenty to actually use these 14 gateways here. A whole bunch of Zerglings in the back right. Scarlett, 191. Actually, a little supply block. Must have lost an Overlord somewhere. They're coming in towards the 3rd base here. The Banelings trickling in. Hero caught in a prison of his own design. A few of those probes taken out. Now Scarlett's the one racking up the worker kills. 41 so far, down to 62 probes as Hero. But we've seen this before, where Hero loses a lot of his economy, and then with his army control and just sheer strength. Oh, massive cancel! Scarlett dodges with the cancel from the Storms that were going to take out those Banelings. Gets most of the money back. Here comes Hero, just trickling through 2-1 versus just +2 melee. The Hydra count is starting to thin out here. 140 supply to just, well, actually, hero just walked in 10 more zealots. Oh no. The storms land, the Hydra softened up, the Banelings absorbing a lot of damage. Scarlett right-clicking them through to try to absorb as many hits as possible before going off. But I think hero's done it again. The critical mass is there, and abruptly the tables turn. And Scarlett is run over by the strength of that warped-in Protoss army. Oh, it was looking so good this time. I think Scarlett... Everyone's done it. A little too far with the Hydraling Bane, and hero takes advantage. The killer instinct hero has is similar to Parting and MC of the olden days of StarCraft 2, with the ability to just recognize, oh, I can go win the game now. And Scarlett getting caught a little off guard, as many Zergs have in the past. Still, a fun series, I think, showing quite a back and forth. Scarlett not able to get the better hero this time, but I hope I made your day a little bit better. Thank you for watching this ESL Cup. Good luck, have fun. I'll see you next time. Check out this video Jimmy put up there just for you. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned.